Okay, motion please. Second. Yeah, thanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. All right, carried. Item 7 is public comment time. Bob, come on up.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
I'm here because on the consent agenda, I see approval, WW, I'm assuming that means wastewater quality, Agri-Star. I think everyone here would probably like to have a little more clarification on that.
We'll get
What
it.
that amounts to.
Sure.
And that comes around, if you could just talk about that.
Yep.
And the building permit fee as well.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. You bet. Yep. Okay, so we're broadcasting. Come on up to the podium and the mic, and please tell us who you are.
Am I going to get feedback? Okay. I'm Jim Gladson. I am one of the candidates for county supervisor. I'm here to kind of basically introduce myself and then sit back and kind of listen and learn about stuff that's going on down this way. It turns out once you're running for supervisor, all of a sudden this is a huge job. And there's a lot to learn. I'm going to try and speed run what I usually say because it looks like you have a lot to do. I farm south of Waukon, nothing big, nothing fancy. I am, of the 3 candidates running, I'm the only active farmer. If I were to be elected supervisor, I would be the only active farmer. And I don't know how much that should matter. I have a hard time gauging that because basically I'm incredibly biased myself. I think there should be a farming board of supervisors just because of the nature of this county. But the experience I have that's actually relevant to being supervisor is the fact that I've got this September, I'll have 17 years in the county's planning and zoning commission. The last 10 of that is chair. That's a position that the way county government is set up, the supervisors have delegated a certain amount of responsibility to us, including writing up, researching and drafting new ordinances. And so this is part where I'm going to kind of go off what I usually say because I read an article in last week's Cedar Rapids paper about the governor candidates and their platforms on these data centers. And they're talking about a whole bunch of stuff that basically Almaquee County put into their ordinance back in March. And we put in the governor candidates, their platforms are pretty similar. They're worried about, people are worried about water. They're worried about those, the continuous draw that some of these facilities have. And we just said, well, people in Almaquee County don't want that. We learned that. So we just basically said, you can't do a continuous draw. You have to use what we call a closed loop system, which means they can still use some water, but they can't be using water all the time. And again, that's the thing that the governor candidates seem to be only catching on to now that we guys figured out in March. Another thing that people are worried about that we try to address is their electricity, the availability and the cost of it. And so what we've got in our ordinance is language that says that if you want to build one of these data centers, then you have to have gone to your utility, and your utility has to confirm that they have the capability of handling this extra load and that they can do it in a way that will not affect the reliability or drive up the cost of your electricity. And the other thing, quickly, is that transparency is what we talked about. And the way that we've got it set up, there's going to be a zoning change, which requires 2 public hearings between planning and zoning and the supervisors, and a conditional use permit, which is another public hearing. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people to get notified about these things, and a lot of opportunity for people to learn and come in and just have their say about what's going on. And that's another thing that the governor candidates have been worried about is this transparency. And I'm actually kind of proud of the people who I work with on that board and our zoning administrator and the supervisors for actually being able to get something like that done ahead of the curve. And I guess that's the kind of thing that I've been doing. And if I get the responsibility of being supervisor, that's the same kind of thing I do, is trying to kind of look ahead and try and do the right thing for the county. I don't have a graceful ending, so I'm just gonna thank you.
There we go. Here we go.
There
He's
we go.
working now.
All right. Anybody else speaking?
My name's Darrell Zabel, and I live at 47 Lyman Street. Last Sunday morning, about 1 o'clock, my neighbor Mike called me. He says, "Darrell, what's going on over at the Burger House?" Which is 2 houses over from me. All them young kids were having a party. And he says, "Well, they got 2 trucks out there," and he says they got the motors wrapped up. And he says the tires are squealing, and he says the smoke's rolling so bad I can't even see the street light. I says, "Well, maybe they'll burn the tires off. They won't have any tires." But finally, about 2:20 in the morning, my wife called me and said, "Darrell, call the police," which I did. So, I think they got a scan of these people, because every time the police shows up, they all run in the house, before the police get there. And then he makes a loop, and then away they go. And here we are right back in the same situation. But the noise is so loud, my windows are vibrating. And I think that's a little bit excessive at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I don't want to complain or anything, but I don't know if these people need a citation or what you're going to do. But in that neighborhood seems to be every other weekend or 2 or 3 weeks, we got to go through this, And my wife's trying to get some sleep to go to church, and then I catch it, So I got to call the police, And I don't know what else to tell you, but I don't know what you're going to do. But there's even some vehicles that driving around, and when they go past your house, your windows are vibrating. I think that's a little bit excessive, and I think they need a citation. I don't know what your ordinance is for music or loud.
Oh, no.
Anyway, that's all I got. Nothing big.
Well, appreciate it.
Thanks.
I heard it too, Zach. Thank you. Yes.
Mike, I heard it. I can tell you that.
Yeah. No, I heard it too.
All right. Anybody else? If not, we can go on to item 6, and that is a public hearing reviewing a project bid for the Williams-Reynolds Street intersection and the resolution. So first of all, I'll go ahead and open the public hearing.
Yep, and Davey is here.
Yep.
You want to have him come on?
And then, so KB Engineering, if you want to come on up here, and then, so this is, and you've got some presenting to do, right? Or how does this work, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can talk about it.
Answer any questions, or just get a quick overview of it.
Yeah. So you can give us an overview, that'd be fine.
So I'm Garrett Ferguson. I'm representing David Engineering. What we're talking about is the Williams-Reynolds intersection repair. What we are presenting right now is a plan to mill up the pavement that's existing. We're going to end up replacing curb and gutter. We'll be redoing the sidewalks in the intersection. We'll also be adding 2 new inlets to the intersection to control the water that is currently pooling up on, I believe it's the southeast corner by the church, where we have ice buildup along the sidewalk. Other than that, it's a pretty standard construction project. The limits of construction are pretty much the intersection.
The reason why this is being, something get a little lower in there, what was the deal? Isn't that, why the construction?
I can't say as to how the street was originally designed. As I understand it, it was a tow road or a haul road at one point for another highway construction job. And when the company came in to do the repairs, it looks like they just laid down extra asphalt over top and went all the way to the curbs on each side. It looks like the curbs got broken up during the haul and never replaced. And so one corner kind of got pounded down, and the extra asphalt added like different grading that's caused this pooling there in the corner now.
Right.
How does this take to do it?
Depending on how fast the contractor could get started and what kind of weather we get this fall, 2 to 3 months. Most of that depends on how quick like the box folders can get here.
So will the streets be shut off around there, or how will that work?
Minimally, there's not much detour needed for it when you're milling it. With flaggers, they can keep traffic going through there. Once they're done milling it, it'll be drivable. You'll just have a drop to get across. The only time that I could see them really restricting traffic from going through that intersection would be when they do the final wear coat. And that would be just for a little while until it's drivable.
It's not like it's a really heavily traffic on that.
No,
Yeah,
there's
on
multiple
Sunday,
intersections
yeah,
around there where
Presbyterian,
traffic
yeah.
can get around.
Yeah. Any other questions? Do we have any questions from the public on this project? Seeing none? Well, I'd go ahead and close the public
Yep.
hearing. And then we can then move on to the resolution. Resolution number 1500. Resolution approving the plan specifications, form of contract, and estimate for cost for the Williams-Reynolds intersection project, and awarding the contract to Bacon Concrete LLC. So we would need a motion.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second
Darcy?
Moore,
Yes.
Mar,
it. Yes,
Moody,
yes,
Ingstrom,
yes.
Engelhardt.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So this was a public hearing to hear what they're going to do, but we've already given it to somebody else.
We've already went out for bid. So the public hearing's on the bids tonight.
Okay.
So we received two bids. One was from Eastern Iowa Excavating, and the low bid was to Bacon Concrete in the amount of $130,080.
Yes.
Okay,
So that end up?
that's it.
All right, good. Okay, got that done? Okay, then item 7, engineering agreement was WHKS.
So this was what you reviewed last meeting, and this is just the contract.
Question?
This has to do with the Hardin
Subdivision, correct? Yeah.
Subdivision.
So we need a motion
Mhm.
for this agreement?
I'd make a motion to approve the agreement with WHKS Engineering.
All right, is there a second?
Awesome.
Laura. Any other discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Carry. Item 8 then is UERPC grant services. This is a well, Darcy, you've
Sure.
been since the beginning of this thing.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Yep. So I had seen a new grant opportunity for the Hardin subdivision. It's called the Rural Innovative Program Housing 2.0 grant. I watched a webinar on it last month, and I thought it would be a grant that might help with some engineering cost on the Hardin subdivision. The commitment is $50,000 grant request, with the city having a cash match of $25,000. So I reached out to Upper Explorer Land and chatted with them about the opportunity. We sent the idea over to the state, and they came back and said that they felt like it was a good fit for that grant application. So met with Upper Explorer Land, and they are willing to assist in that grant writing for the amount of $1,500. So that's what the grant service request is for.
And obviously, if the grant is not awarded, then we're not obligated to spend that match with the resolution. coming up
Right,
next,
yeah,
right?
correct,
This is
yeah.
Just to write
The 1,500 would be to writing the grant. Yeah.
That's not-
In other words,
Don't get it.
No.
we'd be out 26.5 for getting 50K. I mean, we'd be spending
Correct.
26.5
Right.
to get 50K. back.
Correct.
Yep.
If we're successful, yes.
1,500 just to have a shot.
Right.
Oh,
And it's an all or none on the 50. It's not
Correct. Yeah.
graduated.
Nope.
No, a few zeros behind that number would
Be
be
really handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what would this money be used for?
It'd be for engineering and design for
Oh.
Hardin.
Okay.
Yeah, to help with some of those costs.
Okay.
Something's better than nothing, but it seems,
Well, we just have to keep picking away. And I mean, there's some other opportunities once we get into it. We'll be talking with the engineer and meeting with Upper Explorer Land. There's some CDBGs that might work. So we'll just keep our eyes open. So
this is this housing 2.0 grant it's a new grant.
Yeah.
And like Darcy has said, we would be very favorable in that one. But I agree with you that sometimes you got to spend a lot of money to get some money, and but hopefully as we progress into this project, that there will be more opportunities. And, yeah.
And we have the 25,000.
we do, but you need to spend the 1,500 tonight
Oh.
first.
Yeah, we got we.
let's
request
do
is
one
for-
step at
yeah,
a time.
yeah.
we have the 25, but we don't have the 15.
Right.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't have talked to them had we not had the 25.
Yeah, so the motion would have to be the 1,500 for
Right.
writing the grant.
Yeah.
So moved.
Mary, did you do that? Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion?
And that they take the lead on all of the grant writing then. This isn't where you needed those 5.
I do. Yes. It's me working to get the information, but yeah, they're doing the narratives and I'm providing them the information. So I've sent out for the letters of support. I had to have 5 of those, which I've sent out. I've gotten some back. And then we have to have 7 letters of, or just like a 2-line commitment from a steering committee that's in favor. So we'll be looking for those. Some of you might be contacted to sign those letters. So
I think it'd be a great idea if they come from.
yeah. So
City
I'll
Council,
be in
yeah.
contact with you probably to sign
Yeah.
some of those letters.
Okay, so there's a motion and second. Anything else? Any more discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say no. All right. We'll go on with that one. Okay, item 9 then is resolution number 1501-26. Resolution authorizing the submission of an application to the Iowa Rural Innovation Housing 2.0 grant program for the Postville Workforce Housing Development Initiative and committing local match funds.
So this is
Whatever.
committing your 25,000. Basically, it's your resolution supporting the application and agreeing to commit 25,000 if the grant is awarded.
This is counting our chickens before the eggs.
Right. Yeah, but it's part of the grant application requirement. So
I move we adopt resolution 1,500-26.
That's second. All right. Darcy, you're ready.
Moore,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Engelhardt.
Yes,
These, but she did say 1,500 and 1,501.
1501. Yep, I have it written down.
it says 15.
You're good.
You're good.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We go on item 10, then ordinance number 714-26, an ordinance related to water rates. And that was last month, right?
Yeah,
was,
I was directed to draft an ordinance amending water rates by 1%.
so we need a motion to adopt that ordinance.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
that roll call.
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Moore,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Engelhardt.
Yes,
Now that'll go to a second reading unless you're waiving second, third.
I wait a second.
What was that start?
It'd be the next billing. Yeah.
Next billing.
You'll see it on the next billing.
So there's been a motion to waive the second and third. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
That your roll call?
Yep.
Okay.
Moore,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Engelhardt.
Yes,
All right, thanks. Item 11 then, ordinance number 715-26, an ordinance amending chapter 76, bicycle regulations, code of ordinances. This is the one with the e-bikes and scooters, that we needed to get coverage on those.
I have a question about that, and I think it's a great idea to do this. How are we gonna get this word out to the community? The people that ride these bikes?
We could put it out through our social media network and through our website,
And I think
and I'm sure law enforcement, just a simple talk to them before anything's
Simple
issued.
warning,
Yeah,
This is giving them a leg to stand on,
Yeah.
Prevent something happening.
What I liked about this ordinance is that we didn't sort of take such a broad approach, like that example that we had from independence. We basically narrowed it, defined it, but I just want to, I guess, clarify the one part that I kind of stuck out to me is that in, let me just see, at the interaction with state law. So in 76.02, we say micromobility device includes but is not limited to, and we give all the definitions of that. So it doesn't include a wheelchair, whatever. But in 76.02, it says, and where such device is not required to be licensed or registered by the state of Iowa. Okay. But then you come to 76.03, and it says every person riding a bicycle or micromobility device upon a roadway. So I guess I would like clarification on if state law is allowing our defined micromobility devices to operate on a roadway. Because I think without clarification, we might be, without knowing that, we might be implying that the device is street legal when it isn't. Because on the one hand, we say that it's not required to be licensed or registered, which would make it like not street legal. But then further on, we say every person riding it upon a roadway. So how does that interact with the state law? Are we saying that those micromobility devices that are not street legal and don't have to be licensed or registered with the state of Iowa can be ridden within the city of Postville on a roadway?
Well,
We need roadway defined.
Have a roadway defined or just how
Especially
it
when you have
interacts
state
with
highways.
state law? Yeah.
Is there an age restriction on those little electric scooters that kids?
Well, there's state law age restrictions like for what do they call it? Like dirt bikes, not dirt bikes, whatever they're called.
There's state restrictions for e-bikes and scooters. State age restrictions.
I don't know, that might be on the state level, but I mean, just here, as far as like the safety regulations that we're doing, we're saying we're trying to regulate devices that don't have to be registered or licensed with the state, which means that they're not street legal. But then we're saying that we're going to regulate it when it's upon a roadway. So, which is it?
well, we don't require them to be licensed either. The city doesn't.
no.
All I know is yesterday, there was a little boy riding one of those electric scooters. And I saw him run through the stop signs. My house there, my park, 2 times, never even stopped. And then I saw him come back the 3rd time, I tried to talk to him. He was like,
We don't require a registration or license, you're right, but when we're saying that a micromobility device is anything, that includes those not street legal things. So by right, like if it's not street legal, they're not even allowed to be riding them on our roadways, according to state law, like a dirt bike. That would be, let's say, in this micromobility device. So we're saying once it's on our roadway, we have all these signals and the traffic regulations that they have to abide by. But by state law, that dirt bike, let's say, or that micromobility device that didn't have to be registered or licensed isn't even allowed on the roadway. It's not street legal.
See, that's it.
Are the scooters street legal?
Which,
No.
like the one like a push scooter.
Well, no.
No, they got
Yeah.
their e-bikes or e-scooters also. I don't think any of them are legal.
I think just the way it's written, like it might imply that those devices are street legal because we're putting regulations for when they're on the street. But by saying that they're not required to be licensed or registered, I think that includes the not street legal ones.
I understand what you're saying.
So they're supposed to be used on sidewalks, right?
No,
No,
Well, I mean, what we're saying is not street legal, so if they're
right,
going around town, they should be on the sidewalk,
right.
which is where we don't.
They're not sidewalk legal and not street legal.
but they're
But they're not allowed to be on the sidewalks either. I mean, that's what, it's just, I think we just have to
Eliminate.
clarify like the
No.
interaction
Right.
Yeah.
with state law as far as like all the micromobility devices.
bicycles have always been ridden on the street.
Right.
And it says if it's, at night they have to have a light and all that. And my neighbor has an electric bike where you start pedaling it on the way. And he rides it in the street. I guess it's similar to the scooters and everything else. They'd have to be able to ride it in the street.
Right, but we defined micromobility device as any device that's power driven, other than a wheelchair or whatever. So that would include like those pocket bike or what are they called, rocket bikes, pocket bikes, or whatever, like what my son's been on, or like those little dirt bikes or whatever. Those are not street legal, but this would include that, and we have regulations if he is found on the street.
Yeah.
He has to abide by
You
those
want it more, you
regulations.
want it more defined.
Yeah,
You
or
feel
just-
like it should be more defined.
Yeah, or just to clarify, I guess, how that interacts with them not being required to be licensed or registered by the state of Iowa, how it interacts, I guess, with state law.
Well, based on the definition of micromobility device, it has to be anything that's not a bicycle, designed to carry one person.
Right.
And it's run with an electric motor of less than 750 watts.
Right.
So with the next sentence saying where such device is not required to be licensed or registered by the state of Iowa. So if it is that small of a motor motor or battery or less, the state must not require them to be bicycles or these. But once you get bigger than that, then that changes.
Right. But those ones that are less than, that you were just saying, that are not required to be licensed, those are not required to be licensed or registered, but they're also not street legal. You can't ride them on the street. You have to take them out to the gravel roads or to somebody's field. They're not required to be licensed or registered because they're not street legal. You can't get a registration for a 14-year-old boy on a pocket bike or on one of those
But
little
that's
dirt
really,
bikes.
if we don't have an age in there, maybe. I thought we did. But I could see.
I think this has to go back to legal for redefining this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe even the further definition, are we trying to eliminate all streets, public, so city streets and state highways? Then you have to define what is a roadway.
Well, I was
Talks
thinking,
about them driving on the road.
Define what street legal is.
Well, are
Usually
you,
it's,
yeah.
say
As long
front
as
rear,
we can define
front rear
the
light,
street.
a turn signal or your hands, a horn. And if it's a vehicle, you know, you'd have to have a rearview mirror. But you know, these things, you're not going to have all of those.
Or the street legal.
Well,
If they're over
someone took to
750
walk out
watts, so they
house,
must.
right? And he saw like what I called a motorcycle, but apparently it's not a motorcycle, but let's say a dirt bike, whatever it's called. So he's of the age, he can buy it, he can get it, whatever. He doesn't have to register it or get a title or license or whatever, because it's not street legal. He's not allowed to ride it on our streets in
Right.
Postville. He would have to buy it and go.
Then they have to outfit it with
Yeah, on a dirt track.
front and rear light, blinkers,
Right.
And a license plate to make it street legal.
Well,
A dirt-
But
a
those
bike.
you can't
But that's
make
a
street
but that's a
legal.
small CC.
Right.
This is just a battery. So I think we need to find out what the state's
I understand.
Well, it
the
says
board's
electric
case.
motor. It doesn't say
less,
battery. It
but
says
less,
electric-
but
right.
less than 750
Right.
watts.
well, the problem in Postville is we have state highways as the main drag. So if they're not street legal, they can't be on those highways. So,
I'm just asking if not required to be licensed or registered means not street legal, because then we might be accidentally implying that what's not street legal
Well, can we
is,
check out what
is
the
legal
state,
in post.
the state ordinance actually says about what's about them riding in the street? I mean, if it's considered street legal, if they don't have to be licensed or declared to the state, we need to find out if they can ride in the road, what the state requires, or I think we need to look into that.
Well, we can table this, but I think, this is an ordinance for our town.
I know. Yeah.
So, I don't think that you, on a state highway, your side by sides aren't legal either. You can go down a certain way, but then you got to turn off on a gravel. So it's like, but if you want different terminology, then we better find it. And we can do that.
Right.
We'll
You're saying it's not legal on the state highway as it is not in the city, right? But then we write over here at 7603 upon a roadway. So how are they on the roadway?
And the
if it's not
city
street
streets
legal?
in our city.
I would say, since we do have state highways through our town,
Mhm.
that, you would probably have to, you have to address that because,
Right. You
You
can't
have
have
to-
regulations when they're on the roadway if they're not street legal to be on the roadway.
Roadway meaning the state road. If we're talking about ordinance for our town,
Right.
like on Ogden or Williams or Willison or whatever, that would be our decision
Yes.
to make
Yeah.
as far as what we consider able to ride in the street.
Right.
But they cannot
Kinda have
ride
an
on the
idea what you'd
highway,
ask
but they
Dan.
can cross the highway
Yeah.
and get somewhere. Just like you said, the things like that.
I don't know if I'm splitting hairs. I just.
Well,
but that's what
you're
I-
close, you're close.
Okay.
But if you're not happy with language, you got to change it now. So
I'm
if you
just-
guys want to
I'm
make
just
a
seeking
motion,
clarification.
make a motion to table this, we'll get it back next month.
I just Googled it. And Iowa does have a code section for e-bike classes. Like a class 1 is a pedal assist only. A class 2 has a throttle and pedal assist. Motor stops helping at 20 mile an hour. Class 3 pedal assist only. Motor stops helping when bike reaches 28 miles an hour. That's working. But we can.
There's
Google.
nothing on scooters because the micro mobility device means any device that's not a bicycle. So you're talking about like an e-bike,
E-bikes,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
So this addresses not bicycles.
Like them.
Which is the
Electric
nice thing about our
scooter.
ordinance. We didn't get into all that.
Right.
nitty-gritty. We made like a very nice, narrowly defined thing, but I think we just need clarification on how that interacts with state law. If they're not licensed or registered, then why are we making regulations upon our roadways if they can't even be there?
Well, we're doing that so we know what
Yeah.
we can get them off of. I mean,
Right,
we got to slow them down
Right.
and we got to show them where they can't drive.
right.
Yeah.
And be safe.
Yeah.
Let them do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's So I'd like to table it.
So are you
and
making
do
a
some
motion?
So you
clarification. I'm
motion.
making a motion.
All right, so is
please,
there a
to table
second?
I'll second it.
All right. Further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Folks say no. Okay, we'll have it on next month then. Okay, so item 12 is off. So then item 13, resolution number 149926, the resolution approving Iowa Department of Transportation, Iowa DOT, 2026 street finance report authorizing the mayor and city clerk to sign their names.
So, annual financial report to the Iowa DOT on your road use funds is what this report is. So ending June 30th of 26. So basically it just says how your road use and street department funds were operated this last fiscal year. So just need permission to submit that on to the state.
I move we adopt resolution 1499-26 approving Iowa Department of Transportation signatures by the mayor and clerk.
All right, second,
One second.
Darcy, whenever you're ready.
Moore,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Engelhardt.
Yes.
All right, yes, thank you.
Do we skip swear?
These,
We
I took that off.
removed it.
We did. All right, item 14 is the consent agenda. And we can talk about, because we had some public talk, they asked about it, so we can talk about the approval for the wastewater treatment hauling from Agristar and the building permit fee for Agristar. So the approval for wastewater is, how's that?
Do you want me to talk? Okay, so in the memorandum from Chris Hackman in regards to the agri request, so they were looking at bringing in some temporary porta potties, temporary laundry, and they were trying to figure out how that they would go about bringing that into our waste treatment facility to pump up. So we put together a policy that basically says to accommodate existing Postville utility account holders who must temporarily truck their wastewater directly to the treatment plant due to active construction or emergency situations prohibiting normal discharge into the collection system, because these customers already pay a minimum monthly fee assessing a $60 load charge, which is currently what we charge for anyone that brings in something to dump into the waste treatment plant. There's a $60 load charge. Basically you would temporarily not charge that because you're already charging them through your sewer utility system.
So those portable, they'll have to load it up like a hacket or somebody.
Right.
Come and
Ness.
haul it
Yeah.
and dump it in the wastewater treatment.
Yep. So basically what you're doing
For
is you're
Ness.
just waiving the $60 load fee each time that he comes, because they're already paying a sewer fee.
So is this a permanent change to the policy or just temporary?
This would be probably a permanent change. And then you saw the application that he had put together for approval of it.
So they're paying us money still to use the city owned.
This would be the domestic. This is not the industrial. This is domestic waste, which we've always taken to our waste treatment plant. And then the building permit fee, you saw their application for their building permit fee, $75. It's to build what they called a welfare building, which is next to the chicken barns, to put in a bathroom and like locker room area for them to start getting their chicken line up and in production.
Yeah, right now, all of those were their employee locker rooms, restrooms, all of that's destroyed. So yeah, they're going to build this on the northwest corner of the chicken kill. And I think they're at it right now. Yeah, so request to waive that building permit.
That's $75.
And it's $75.
Just a single permit fee, right?
Yep.
I move we waive the $75 fee.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? we do this individually,
You
right?
can, yeah.
Yeah, we might as well, since that's where we're at.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Those say no. All right.
And what about the hauling? Are
Yeah.
you okay with that policy change?
So we could-
On that one.
Yeah.
You can, or you can approve it in the consent agenda. It's up to you. If you want to pull it out, you can. If not, you,
Consent agenda.
okay.
Okay,
Got it worded in there.
do it all at once? Okay, all right. Anything else in the agenda then that you guys looking at?
The library deal about the handbook. They have a handbook, but no one's seen it, is that it?
Right. So no, they don't. So their employees never had received a handbook from, and they have their own policies and procedures. So they need to have, their employees are owed a handbook. They need to be able to know what their rules are, how they handle certain things, if they have grievances or want to know their vacation,
Yeah.
date, holidays, any of that, any policies, they should have a handbook and they should sign off on it, that they received it.
And is that gonna happen with them? Did you find that out?
I think they're working on it.
Yeah.
The city attorney is working with
Oh,
them on
okay,
that.
Okay, good. That's all I
Yeah, it's come.
need. Okay.
Anything else? Not, is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second,
I'll second.
Laura? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Motion no carried. All right. Item 15 then, a resolution for money to pay the bills. We gotta do that, huh? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Becky, is there a second? All right. Darcy?
Moore,
Yes.
Mar,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Ingstrom,
Yes.
Engelhardt.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That brings us to item 16 and a little more public comment. If there's any?
I'll just say, be extremely careful. You are, I looked at the agenda. You obviously had some meetings. I know those were emergency meetings.
You want to stand up here, so.
That's fine.
I know you had some emergency meetings, and that's fine. Be extremely careful that you don't get hooked on an open meeting law violation.
The council did not have any meetings. The mayors had meetings.
I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, the council did not
I
have
don't
any
want
special
anybody
meetings.
to get in trouble.
So
We all know that.
I assure you, Bob, I would not let that happen.
Now, don't, if you ask your attorney, don't listen to them, because they only want to get you in trouble so they can represent you. That's what I learned when I was sued. So be careful.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that happen to you guys.
Gotcha. Thanks. Anybody else? Yeah.
I might just have, it's more of a question, I guess, than a comment. With kind of the response. that
Jim, would you come up again, please? We got people, actually, we got people at our home that need to hear you.
Now they can see it.
Okay, yeah, great. Top of my head. and introduce
Just say,
myself.
vote for me. vote for me.
I'm Jim Gladson, and I'm from Walk-On. I'm one of the people running for supervisor. And I guess I just have kind of a question with all the rest of like the federal, state, whatever the emergency response that you've had with the fire and trying to get keep things moving afterwards. Just how satisfied have you been with it, or are there any holes in the response that you guys have run across? It's more curiosity.
Sure. Well, I'll make a comment on that. It's just that I mean, I've been on this pretty hard, so, and I can say right away, right now, there is no federal, there is no state, but we got one hell of a community. Yeah. I mean, and it's not, and we had people, I mean, from all over. I mean, this has just been such a tremendous outpouring of folks that, they just want to do good, and it's so, state and federal may come, I don't know, but not,
I did have communications with but I was gone. I was out of state, so it was on my work computer. But a gentleman from the Iowa division of EPA, because he wasn't getting resolution from DNR, so he contacted me as local, and then didn't get anywhere with me either. So I assume, and then when I talked with Manchester field office DNR guy, he was here himself, as were some of his staff, but more so with the water from firefighting efforts that had gone down through Hecker Creek, and there was a fish kill. So, but that was understood as to why it was able to control it. But then they did start building some earthen berms to divert that water to their wastewater lagoons.
Yeah.
But he had nothing but good things to say about how it was managed locally, namely our fire chief, Jeff Lohr, and emergency management and mayor, and everybody's coordinated efforts with law enforcement and getting these different fire departments in and set up and keeping them safe. So that was my correspondence back from our field office. DNR.
I just didn't know. Yeah, I was just curious because I didn't know how that kind of stuff would work. I have heard nothing but good stuff about what the local response is. And I guess I was just kind of curious in something like that. It seems like it's a big enough deal to the community, and I didn't know if that would trigger anything that comes from outside the community.
Yep, and not at as this of this time there hasn't been. Along with those things that happened that Tuesday, is there was 19 different fire departments here, and the city pumped over 3 million gallons of water, and then there was the lagoon or the at Norplex that they pumped out. And it was like, so I walked around that building, when she was on fire. And then, so they pulled the fire departments. They were there, but they had 3 aerials going, and just the amount of water that these guys can shoot is crazy. So I can understand, how you can get a fish kill, because, the water coming out of that building was deep from the water going into that building from the top, so, all of these things happen. I think we're really going to be amazed when this thing settles down, that we're in contact now with Agar. We talk with them at least once a week, and when you can hear it from those folks that we're going to rebuild, that's pretty darn good. This isn't some TV station telling you this. This is coming from those guys, and so they're gonna start up their chicken kill pretty soon.
Kind of gathered from what you were saying.
Yeah.
Salvageable, basically.
Yep. So those the chicken kill line and the beef line is they actually pretty much save those. But refrigeration, most of that's pretty gone. Right now, in the Jewish world, they're critically short of kosher meat.
I'm supposed to be beef everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's like I saw a picture the other day of a huge warehouse out east, a refrigerated warehouse that is huge, but there wasn't a hot dog in it. There was no meat in it. So I think we might see some expedited things here, just to get this thing rolling. Agra's deal right now is they're going to get their chicken line up because they've got contracts with growers. And you can't put a hold on chickens, man. They grow. So they're going to move some of them to different packs right now, and then so they're going to really push to get open. And the way it was described to us is that there will be no cut up at this time. So they're going to go out as whole birds. They're going to bring in portable refrigeration, and get her going, and try to keep some employees around also. So
Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's one of the things you get kind of curious about watching it all from the outside, and basically kind of trying to stay out of the way. So it is
Exactly,
all stuff your second here. And you just not quite sure how all this stuff works.
Yeah.
And actually, it sounds like there's a lot. I mean, it does sound like there's a lot more to work with than what you get out of all the rumors and what you hear.
yeah, you bet. Yeah.
But overall, so then, I mean, it's a terrible thing to happen, but it's actually this recovery is going better than you would have guessed.
For me, it is. Yeah, I just took a look at all that whole day, and I said, "Oh Lord, this is not good," and so they got it's things that they're saving. It's funny though. And no, it's not funny, but this trickle down thing. I was talking about contracts with growers. You got farmers that. That's where these birds were going to go, and they got cattle bond. That's where these cattle were going to go. So now you got to find space somewhere else for all this stuff. And you take a look at Agra's customers. There's nothing there. So yeah.
Okay, that covers anything I got.
All right. Well, thanks. You bet. Well, that was enough preaching.
They must be able to spare a lot of the electrical though, that they could get moving that quick on the trigger line.
Yeah, they've got we found out the other day that building had been added on 28 times. So you got electrical service here, you got electrical service here, and then so they just started to shut them off. As they knew that we can't save this part. So they
Jason down at Jalapenos, him and his wife previously, they worked there, they were supervisors. Jason told me that kosher chickens right now are going for $20.
think of that. Yeah.
Well, it's the high holidays that adds to it also. So,
Yeah. But you know what? You could put $100 on that bird. If the bird ain't there, it ain't no good. It's just But it's like
It's still the fact that we had no injuries, loss
Oh.
of life, and minimal loss of live animals that weren't already in the process.
well,
To get them out of there and get them on trailers and get them gone
Yeah,
is amazing.
well, how that all flowed that day, I have no idea. I stood there and I says, "What is this?" But
As much as I was sad to see it, I wished I would have been here to at least.
I was out of town too.
We were worried about you, Dennis.
Really? Well, thanks.
It really was. My wife too.
I
The
was-
Decorah Fire Chief called and commended Jeff Bohr for his coordination of the effort.
Yeah.
And I know through my Uncle Jack or something that those aerial units were pumping like 6,000 gallons of water a minute. And I don't know if that included, were there any on the ground that were also spraying?
No.
Seemed like the aerial
It got to the
ones,
point where they
aerial,
just
And but I think that 6,000 gallons a minute.
Well, and I think the use of the drones was probably pretty life-saving, maybe too, to see where the hot spots
Know
were
where-
from
yeah.
overhead.
I'm just thankful we had come to tower yet.
Yeah, we weren't painting the tower yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes with all that too. Your water operator put in a lot of long hours,
sure
and
did.
your city employees. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen Zach's.
there's a lot more to it than I think people realize.
Yeah.
When
And we
The over-engineering that John Hyman and I did when we rebuilt the whole water system here back when. We over-engineered the whole thing.
it proved itself.
it proved itself. Yeah.
Well, with those kinds of industries on each end of town and a railroad going through the middle, I don't know if you could overbuild it because you never know what's gonna.
The bad thing
Yeah.
was that day when the fire was, rumors spreading around. And we received, was it an email about evacuating the whole town? And I called the sheriff's office and they didn't know anything about it. But, Doc, you know about chemicals.
Yeah.
And I found out the hard way. One time I was cleaning my garage and I mixed bleach and ammonia together.
Ooh, that'll down you.
Mustard gas.
I had to leave the house.
That'll down.
And that could have happened up there.
Oh, yes, sure could have. You bet. Yeah, there was, lots of toxic things there.
Well, I appreciated that our workforce got up
Yeah.
as fast. I mean, they were
Yeah.
on the ground running Thursday morning.
Yep,
You know,
they were.
I mean that was astonishing to me that they got everyone up here,
Mhm.
and the SNAP people got up here, and all those people got up here right away to help the workers. So,
You bet. And even, with all the good intentions, with all of these things and there's still scammers out there. There's people that want to just screw you, and it's just tough. But
The people were discussing how they were going to, before Catholic Charities came here and community action at the church, there were people that were discussing, I can't say how I found this out, but it's factual, how they were going to cheat. But we made sure that nobody that's going to receive any rent assistance or utility help, I don't think there's going to be any cheating.
oh no, I don't think so. They got some pretty good safeguards in place. Yeah, they do.
I think overall we all witnessed that our community's extraordinary response to
Yeah.
an extraordinary situation.
You bet. Yeah.
Well, when this is all said and done, I'll guarantee you, there's going to be people coming here and they're going to be talking to you folks. And they're going to be asking questions, about how we went about doing this. I'm sure of that. It'll be good things said about the city. I think, I hope.
Yeah.
Better.
All right. Well, hey, but on a happier note, we got the Ziegler open house
oh, yeah.
is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, from 11 to 2. So I hope you folks go out there. That is an amazing building. Yeah. And
Yeah.
After tomorrow.
What's the date, the times again, 11 to?
11 to 2. That's
And I
open.
do want to announce this.
That's
Grant,
open.
the siren grant, the FEMA grant we got for the sirens.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So how long? Yeah, but how long we been working on that?
I worked on that a long time ago.
Yeah. So we Darcy got a notification this morning that we got a FEMA grant on for sirens
Replacement.
replacements.
Remember all that?
Yeah, I mean this has been
We
that was like one thing about Darcy. I'm going to tell you this. When she gets something going, she sticks with it because half of this stuff I know they just want people to give up because that's how this goes. But yeah, well, so that was a long process, and so we're going to have some new sirens in town.
Good, because the tornado signs-
It's 60,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have to put in 15%.
Oh yeah,
Of so, but it was for 60,000. So we're going to be replacing the siren system.
Thank you.
she did good. She did good. Okay, that one's done. How about you guys? Got any comments? City Council?
Like I said, I was gone, but I was watching things on Facebook and news online. But besides giving our city employees and our fire departments, rural and local, and maybe this is what you were referring to, Bob, but one interview that I'd seen, just showed your emotion and
Yeah.
care and love of this town, because just you were emotionally committed to, being worried about it.
You
So,
were worried about him too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was too.
so,
Well, thank you.
so I think, you'll be running for mayor again in 2 years. Because you
Whether you
love
want to
your
or
town.
Thank you, Reverend.
Yeah. Well, great people. They just say you got it. That's,
A little bit of that framework or that spirit of response was generated back in 2008 in response to the raid,
Mhm,
that the community rallied.
mhm,
So
right.
people understand what that rallying is a good thing.
Mhm.
That
The
raid
community
and
needs it.
turkey plant fire.
Turkey plant fire, all those things.
Yeah.
People rallied to those occasions. And, you know, it's just a sign of resilience by the community people.
I
And it's-
remember the faces after the turkey plant fire. Those people were devastated. But now, I'm not seeing that fear in the people yet. I hope I don't see it. You know,
Correct.
because they realize we're trying to help.
all right. So if we're done, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. We're done. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you.